Hello and welcome back everyone, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an absolute ton of coins from the mining Fiesta with coal as the mare. Now this mining Fiesta has just started, so I'm going to try to be pretty quick with this, and we're going to actually start with the requirements. Now these aren't exactly requirements, but these are what I recommend to use for kind of the best, kind of cheap setup that you can use. Now you could use really anything. If you can break gemstones, then it'll work. You could use no armor and a low tier drill and you'll be fine, but it's gonna be a lot worse than this will be. And you could also use a Devon's drill and better armor than this and you'll have an easier time. But what I recommend, if you're kind of low on coins, then I recommend going with a Jasper drill. This is gonna be great. You're gonna want this anyway for powder grinding. It has plenty of speed and fortune and wisdom and all that, and it's really not that bad of a price. For example, if I go to the auction house right now and go for the Jasper drill, the lowest price is currently under 60 mil, which is, for a mining setup, really not that bad. And then obviously I recommend some jaded Devon's armor, but really you could have basic, no reforge, no anything, Devon's armor, and it'll still be pretty good. Now, before I continue, I do want to clarify I'm not at all saying this is the best setup ever made or anything. This isn't the most coins you're going to get out of coal. This isn't anything like that. This is how I like to farm for glossy gemstones. This is what's easy for me. This is what works well, and this is what made me roughly 120 to 130 mil earlier in the last mining Fiesta. So, if you want to be making that much too, then this is an alright setup for you. Once again, there's people that can make upwards of like 300 million a mining Fiesta, but I'm not one of them. My setup isn't maxed. This is just what I do. Anyway, as for your Heart of a Mountain tree, you are going to want to kind of go with something like this. Now, assuming that you are at Heart of a Mountain 7, assuming that you've, leveled up Core of a Mountain a bit, so you've got some extra tokens of a mountain, you're going to want to focus as much as possible on mining speed, with a little bit of the mining spread, just in case, it's a nice little extra chance to have, but then you're of course going to want to focus on mining speed for gemstones. You're going to want to focus on the efficient mine, or speedy mine man, and obviously whatever you can put into fortune is obviously going to be good, but you want to focus first and foremost on mining speed, because it's not really about fortune to my understanding, it's all about the speed, because the more gemstones you're breaking, the more chances you're having of dropping a glossy gemstone. Now, aside from these mining speed upgrades, or Heart of Mountain perks, you're going to want to just go for anything else that can help you out. So, for example, I recommend going for HYPIXEL because this is going to break a ton of gemstones. You could also go with Mining Speed Boost, but I prefer HYPIXEL. Mining Speed Boost is good too, though. I also would recommend going for Sky Mall if you have the tokens, because you can potentially get more mining speed, you can get a shorter cooldown for your pickaxe abilities. All around, it's pretty good if you have the tokens to get it. Now, you could also go with some of these, get some extra powder, but really, they're not going to help a ton. You could go with front-loaded, but you're going to be mining a lot more than 2,500 gemstones. But if you don't think you're going to be mining a lot more than that, then definitely try to go for front-loaded. Another thing, if you have enough powder, or if you have enough tokens, you can always go for the powder buff, because you're going to be mining gemstones, you might as well. But you're not going to be powder grinding, so there's not really any need to go for it. So in short, you want as much mining speed as possible. You want your Jasper drill, you want your mining armor, preferably Devon's. Anyway, so then you have a couple of options. You could mine Jade, I just looked the wrong way, you could mine Jade, you could mine Amethyst, you could mine whatever else. Ideally, you want to be mining Jasper because it's worth a lot, and the higher breaking power gives a higher chance of dropping a glossy gemstone, but most of the time you're not going to be able to find Jasper. You need a fairy grotto. People pay tens of millions of coins to be able to get a fairy grotto, or the location of one. You're not going to have a great time at getting one of those. So, my recommendation, something that is anything but rare, something that is all over the place, has a high breaking power, so you have a high chance of getting glossy gemstones compared to other things. And something that really, with this kind of setup, won't take that long to mine, we're going to be going for topaz, which means going straight down. You know, you don't want to mine at like mid-level magma fields or anything. You want to go straight down, all the way down to bedrock. No, you know, no mercy with it or anything. No stopping here. You want to go all the way down. See, right here, this is what we want. We want the bedrock. I don't know why there's extra bedrock here. That's a little odd, but this is what we want. Now, you have a couple of options. You could just mine normally like this, or you could get your armadillo pet. You know, you could get your mineral armor, and you could mine out an area like that, which you're going to have a pretty alright time with. This isn't going to take too long. Or you could also get a stack of bob-ombs, and while these will not give you the glossy gemstones on their own if you do break gemstones, these will break the area, and then the gemstones alone will regenerate. Now, some people say the gemstones don't, but they do. I don't know why anyone would say they don't. Maybe an update changed it or something at some point. But yeah, so you can clear out a massive area with these, and then the gemstones will just regenerate over time, and you'll have an amazing time. Now, as for how to actually go about mining the gemstones, and some other kind of issues of being down here. First off, you're obviously in the magma fields. You're going to be gaining the heat effect every now and then, and if you're down here too long, with, you know, no way of remedying that, you're going to die. And that's not ideal. You know, believe it or not, that is downtime. And we don't like downtime. No one likes downtime. You can't be having that. So, what you want to do is either you can have a bow pet, which is going to give you a ton of heat resistance and is going to remove heat whenever you kill an enemy, or you could, you know, bring some water bottles, or you could just go up to the surface every now and then, cool down a bit, and have an alright time. Now, you can go with the armadillo pet, obviously, but yeah, as I said, ideally you want to go with the bow pet because it's going to also give you a lot more of the mining speed. Actually, it doesn't give any mining speed on its own, but you're going to get a lot more mining fortune anyway, and yeah, it's not like the armadillo gives much of that, so you're also going to be getting the pristine, so all around, it's good. As well as that up to 10% reduction on pickaxe ability cooldowns. When you're using Pico Bliss a lot, you're going to really be wanting that. So, bow pet for the win, but if you don't have the coins, then an armadillo pet will do. Now, another way to get past the heat effect that I forgot to mention is also the Keep It Cool perk. Now, one way or another, you're going to be getting this, hopefully, almost definitely, if you're going for Speedy and Fortunate Mine Man. So, just level this up a little bit, and the heat resistance will help, and yeah, so put some levels into that, but don't focus it a ton, and yeah. Worst comes to worst, you take a bit of damage every now and then, as I said, you can just go to the surface if you really need to, or you can use Bell Pet. And another benefit with the Devon armor now is that it has the heat resistance as well, which is very nice. Now, if you are really devoted to doing this, then you can get the heated reforge on your drill, and that'll give you more mining speed and fortune with the higher heat that you have, but it's a pretty expensive reforge, and so is the fleet reforge, so I'm not going to be switching back and forth all the time just for this, since the fleet reforge works perfectly fine. Now, occasionally you will also find rubies down here, and obviously you still want to mine them, but just since they have a lower breaking power, or a lower breaking power that you need to mine them, they're going to have a lower chance of giving a glossy gemstone, but obviously you're going to mine them extremely quickly, so they're good to have as well. Now, another benefit of mining the topaz is that topaz on its own is definitely not a cheap gemstone to mine. For example, if we look here through the gemstones on the bazaar, topaz really is not too bad. It's kind of middle ground in terms of value. You know, it's not super expensive like peridot or jasper, but it's also really not bad because it gives pristine. And obviously you need pristine for mining, you know, gemstones, which is what we're doing. Or, well, you don't need it, but you want it. So, that's another reason to be mining the topaz down here. is you're going to be making coins in 2 different ways. Once again, through the glossy gemstones, but generally I can make upwards of, you know, a couple mil, upwards of like 20 mil per Fiesta just from the gemstones themselves. Now you can see right there my Sky Mall buff changed, and I got an additional 100 mining speed, which, once again, you're just trying to mine these as fast as possible, as much as possible, so that's a very good thing. Because for the breaking power that Topaz has, right, it is a roughly, I believe, about 1 in 230 chance of getting a glossy gemstone. I could be wrong. I know that if you're mining Jasper or any of the Glaciite gems, then it's about 1 in 220. But once again, Topaz is way more common and way quicker to mine, so I recommend going Topaz if you can. Now you can also upgrade the perk for glossy gemstone chance whenever Foxy's Mare and the Carnival's around, but obviously right now, Foxy's not Mare. So next time Foxy's Mare, if you haven't already, make sure to try to get that perk if you can, because any extra chance for these glossy gemstones is going to be massive. Anyway, we have about 2 hours on this Fiesta, so I'm gonna get mining, and I will stop back in with any updates, and I'll show you how much I make from this, as well as any updates, as I said, for any things I may have missed for how to do this, and then at the very end, we'll see how much I make from this one Fiesta. Also, before I continue mining, I do want to say, sorry in advance, and also just all around, if I'm talking kind of all over the place. I didn't intend on making this video yet. I completely forgot about when the Fiesta started, and just randomly, you know, was sitting looking at times, and I was like, wait a second? There's something I should be doing right about now. And then I wanted to record a video about the Fiestas, so I'm trying to rush it, and trying also not to miss out on the Fiesta, because obviously you can make a ton of coins from it. So yeah, once again, sorry if the things that I'm saying are a little bit jumbled, a little bit all over the place. I hope they make sense, and if not, then feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll always make sure to help you out down there as well. Anyway, back to the mining, and let's see how I do. Another thing I forgot to mention as well is also that you can just use your armadillo as usual, you know, break through the topaz, and you'll still have the chance at getting the glossy gemstones. I don't know why my armadillo is being difficult in terms of speed right now, but, you know, you're still going to be able to get glossy gems if your armadillo breaks them, which is very nice. Now, I recommend having a little balance between whether to have your Bal pet or your armadillo pet out. Like, for example, once your heat gets high, then, you know, switch to your Bal pet for a bit, kill some mobs, lower your heat, and you'll be fine. And then once your heat's fine again, then you can switch back to your armadillo pet once you have a good area mined out and all that. Because, once again, the more gemstones you mine, the better. That's all this is really about. This is nothing about fortune. While the pristine on the Bal pet is nice, as I said, it really, at the end of the day, I don't think it changes that much. I think it does have an effect, but it's not a massive effect. Your main chances are just going to be from purely going around breaking the gemstones. Now, you know, obviously the armadillo is good at this, so that's why I'm recommending it. And another thing, you will obviously have to watch out for the yogs that spawn down here. It's not like they're overpowered. This one just refused to even attack me, but they will still be a bit of a nuisance every now and then, especially if a lot of them spawn and start attacking you. So just keep an eye out for those, and you should be fine. And there we go, I already have 3 glossy gemstones, and I've barely started. And as you can see, they're worth a bit over 5 mil each. Now, I would recommend saving them and waiting to sell them until after Cole is out of office. I could be wrong about this, but everything I know about kind of how economics works and all that, and everything I know from what other people have said, kind of just says, you know, wait, prices are going to go up, because right now everyone's selling them, so the prices are going down, and you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be one of them smart people who waits a bit, doesn't sell them immediately, and makes a lot more coins from it. Or to be fair, it might not be a lot more, it might be, you know, 100k more each, but that's 100k you wouldn't have otherwise. You gotta think about it that way. So yeah, let's get back to mining. And once again, you're not here for powder grinding. Don't level up Great Explorer unless if you have like 1 billion gemstone powder. You know, there's no point for it. You're not gonna be spawning in enough chests where they're gonna get in your way. It's just gonna waste like 1 million powder that could be spent on other more important things for this. Such as, you know, your mining speed, which is way more important here. Oh nice, minus 20% pickaxe ability cooldowns. Now, that doesn't sound that great, but trust me when I say that is absolutely amazing, because now it takes even less time for me to get Picobliss, and Picobliss is perfect for those out-of-reach gemstones. So, for example, those, I'm not building up to those, I'm not going to teleport to those, I'm not going to try to parkour my way up. I'm just going to wait till Picobliss is ready, and then bada bing, bada boom, there we go. Skyblock is so weird when you really think about it. Like, for example, you know, we're all going around mining glass with a prismarine shard because of politics. I mean, we do it anyway without politics, but especially because of politics. That's what's really getting us to do it. At least that's what's getting me to do it, you know. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any of these glossy gems, but it's still wild to think about. And that's not even the weirdest thing by far. Skyblock is such a weird game. Now, one thing I tend to do time to time while doing this is I like to actually empty my sacks kind of earlier than I need to. For example, right now I don't need to empty the mining and gemstone sacks, but this entirely might just be a placebo effect, but I feel like I get more glossy gemstones when I don't have any in my sack. Once again, might entirely be a placebo effect, but that is kind of how I think of it. So, I'm just going to put those there. I'm kind of keeping track of how much I get from each mining fiesta. And I'm just going to sell the sack. And hopefully, you know, we can hope that maybe I'll get some more. But, once again, I know it's just a placebo effect, but it definitely feels like it kind of helps. Like, sometimes it feels like maybe the game kind of sees the glossy gems and is just like, you know, you've had enough. You don't need any more. Also, we already got another glossy gemstone, and we are currently at 1 hour and 28 minutes left, which means I've been doing this for a bit over half an hour, and already gotten 8 glossies, which really is not too shabby. That is not bad, because that's what, like 40 mil? So, upwards of 80 mil an hour so far. Oh nice, I leveled my armadillo pet up. You could also, honestly, you could probably also make money from leveling pets up while you do this, because you're generally getting some pretty good XP. I mean, it's not groundbreaking XP or anything, but you're doing a lot of things. So if you were to get like a level 1 armadillo pet, you could probably make at least a tiny bit from leveling it up, I would assume. I haven't tried it. I'm not saying to do that, I'm just saying potentially. You never know. You gotta love that. That is one annoying thing about Picobliss, is that sometimes, not every time, sometimes it'll go through gemstones. And I get that it's, you know, probably not something they can easily fix, or even at all, because it's technically not a full block and all that. But it is still annoying. No one can deny that. Another benefit of this method that I completely forgot to mention is also the simple fact that if, you know, if the lobby gets extra laggy, if a lot of people join, if people start finding where you're mining and mining with you and taking all the gemstones, unlike with Jasper mining, you can leave and find a new lobby without any difficulty, which is a very nice bonus. Yeah, because if you're mining Jasper, you've got, you know, more coins from the gems, you've got better, better rates, sure, but there is no leaving that lobby. You're in for a bad time if you try to find a new Fairy Grotto. Okay, so the first hour of the Fiesta is already done, and in that time, or in the time since I've emptied my mining sack, I've gotten another 9 glossy gemstones, which means, let me grab these real quick. Aside from any of the other stuff that I've gotten, aside from any of the actual gemstones and all that, which I'd say probably were what, like 2 to 5 mil last time I sold them, and 4.5 mil this time. So let's call that, let's call that 7-8 mil. And then we've gotten 16 glossy gemstones in this 1 hour. So we're looking at roughly 90 mil in the 1 hour with a very middle ground, kind of mediocre setup. There's no high tier titanium drill or anything. I don't have amazing mining speed. I don't have perfect gemstones on here or anything. I'm using an armadillo pet. And still, I've made 90 mil in an hour. Anyway, on to the second hour, and let's see how I do. Also, real quick, I wanted to say as well, if you're liking this video at all, and if it's helping you out, make sure to subscribe. It helps out an absolute ton, and we're trying for 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and we're not too far off. So, if we can get there before the year ends, I'm going to be doing a massive giveaway. If we get there after the year ends, don't worry, I'm still going to be doing a giveaway. I'm just going to be doing it differently. I might do it Discord exclusive, I might do it, a smaller giveaway, who knows. But either way, it's going to be a massive giveaway one way or another, and it's going to be even bigger if we hit it before the year ends, so make sure to hit that button. Also, we're not even 10 minutes into this hour, and we've already got 3 glossy gemstones. I'm not going to insta-sell those, don't want to do that. Kind of hard to keep track of the numbers if I do, so yeah, definitely don't want to do that. But yeah, so far, already 15 mil in under 10 minutes, which is not bad at all. That is pretty solid. Okay, we're halfway into the second hour, and we already have 14 more glossy gemstones. That's a lot. I don't know if you saw that insta-sell price, but that was, I think it said like 70 mil. So, potentially, if it's just that, if I get that lucky for the next half of this hour, upwards of 140 something mil an hour, which a lot more than the first hour, not gonna lie. That's pretty good. That's up there with the best like actual money making methods in the game, really, at least to my understanding. I could be wrong, I'm not out here doing coup draw all the time and all that, but I think that's up there with the best money making methods. Okay, and there goes the mining fiesta. So, in the second hour, I got another 23 glossy gemstones. Now, that was a little lower than I thought. As I said, we were at 70 mil halfway through. But, that's still 126 mil, 127, almost 128 in the course of an hour. Which, that's a lot. That's a good amount. Now I'm going to grab these real quick, and in total so far, just from glossy gemstones, I have made well over 200 million coins during this mining fiesta. That equals out to about 100 mil an hour, not including all of the gemstones I've gotten, which have also equaled a fair amount more. That's not a bad amount. That's 8 mil from gemstones. Before I said it was, I think, like 7 or 8, so we've got roughly 16 or so mil from just gemstones. We've got another mil in my inventory from gemstones. All around, I'd say almost 20 mil worth of other stuff, and over 200 mil in terms of just the glossy gemstones, which is a lot. That is, once again, well over 100 mil an hour, and once again, I was not locked in during that. I was talking a whole lot. At one point, I even had a snack. I was not trying that hard. I mean, I was, but I wasn't fully locked in. But yeah, I wasn't fully locked in. I wasn't speed running everything. I wasn't trying to get perfect with my route and all that. I just was running around breaking blocks. Simple as that. I was running around mining glass with my prismarine shard, as I said, because of politics. And I made over 100 mil an hour. So, once again, this is my method. You don't have to do it, but I recommend it because it goes really well. You make an alright amount of coins, and it's extremely easy. And also, honestly, not that boring. A lot of the time for stuff like this, it ends up getting very boring and very dull over time. But this, you can keep it kind of interesting. You gotta fight off the yogs, you gotta run around, you gotta kind of mix up what you're doing, mix up the Picobelus with the armadillo, and, you can really kind of bring your own flair to it after a while, which I think is amazing. Now, I am going to be ending the video there, but once again, if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like. It helps out an absolute ton with getting this video out to more people who might need it. If you enjoyed the content as a whole, make sure to subscribe. And once again, trying for 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I absolutely believe we can do it. We just need all of your help. So make sure to hit that big red button, or whatever color it is at this point. I don't even remember. It might be gray. You never know at this point. But make sure to hit that big button down below. Make sure to hit the notification bell while you're at it. Find out whenever I stream or post a new video, which, the streams, that happens a lot. Videos, not a ton, but every now and then. And if you have any suggestions for other guides to do, if you have any, ideas for other methods for how to grind for glossy gemstones, anything else, even if I missed anything and you want to just let me know, make sure to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get back to you about that. Anyway, I'm going to be ending the video there, so thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, everyone, and goodbye.